get started here. Coach, obviously a tough one. Just the kickoff action. How's just an opening statement how the team's been responding as we get ready for BG?
Yeah, teams responded really, really well. Obviously, like we talked about after Tuesday night, not the outcome that we were after. Is a hard-fought loss where we came up short. So there's hard lessons that need to be learned. We need to do a great job using those mistakes that we made as feedback so that we can grow, that we can improve. The guys did a great job coming back to the facility, and after 24 hours, whether it's a big win or it's a hard loss, like you got to move forward. You got to dust yourself off. You got to head back down range, and there's work to be done. There always will be. And you got to do that with purpose. And I thought our guys did that well yesterday. And we'll get into the weekend and we'll start looking ahead and obviously doing the work that's required on the field, to position ourselves to go battle, Bowling Green, who's playing really, really well on a nice little win streak right now, obviously making strides and, going to be a really, really hard fought game there, the way that it always is with the Falcons, and looking forward to the battle to come.
All right, let's go to our man Jack Birdie from TB2. Jack, any questions for Coach?
Yeah, Coach, first off, do you have an update on Devontae or any of the other injuries you guys were dealing with after Tuesday?
No, nothing new right now. They're all very much day to day. The only thing really kind of report on the injury front is that hopeful that Dean Clark will be able to play this week and that he's at a spot to where he feels confident to be able to go. The training staff done a great job working with him through the course of his rehab and doing what needs to be done, but nothing new to report on Tez. We just got to continue to treat that core injury and what it is and get him to a spot where he feels confident and comfortable to go on Wednesday night.
Just what are some things that maybe stood out to you if you went through the film on Tuesday's game, both positive and negative, that you can either clean up or move forward these next 3 games?
Yeah, the positive that jumps out first and foremost is that, again, we could talk about on Tuesday, the defense got some really good stops that kept us in that game and battled really, really hard for the majority of the game. But we got to get the timely stops then when needed as well. But generating turnovers, forcing the opportunities where we were able to get stops and forcing those punts. I thought our punt return team did a decent job. I thought we left some yards out on the field to where we could have gotten vertical in the punt return game a little bit better. The kickoff return team continues to be a bright spot, but again, there's missed opportunities there where we're a block away, where we need to strain, we need to finish, we need to do our jobs so that we stop looking at that team as, hey, it's a great return. We got the ball at the midfield, but we could have finished some of those. And really, on a night where obviously the offense was struggling to click and to hit on the deep shots and the deep balls and the missed opportunities that were there, we could have put points on the board with the kickoff return team. Positive from the offensive side, again, really good night of rushing the football, over 200 yards rushing again, and we valued the football and we didn't turn it over on paper. However, we have to do a much better job in the critical gotta have it situations, the third downs, the fourth downs, to again go 1 for 3 in the red zone area and to go 1 for 3 on fourth down. That's not near good enough, and those are the things that we need to emphasize. Those are the things that we need to focus, and the way we get it right is rolling up our sleeves. We do the work, we get our fundamentals and our techniques and all the little things that aren't really little things right and squared away so we can be connected and play as one.
Just looking at the season as a whole, you're 3-6 right now. You have to win out to get bowl eligible. Is that something you talk about with the guys in the locker room, or is it, just taking it week by week, and this week, just turning the page and getting ready for BG?
Jack, it's always been moment to moment. It's not even week to week, right? I can't concern myself about the future. The only thing I can do with the past is learn from it, or it's going to repeat itself again. So again, there's been lessons all through the year that some we've learned, some that we haven't, and they keep popping up with the lessons that we haven't learned. So right here in the moment, there's work to be done that we have to do today, and we can't put it off till tomorrow, right? So it's literally being present in the moment and working with purpose and doing what needs to be done with purpose, whether that be in the classroom, in your social life, as a member of our football family here. It's being present today and doing the work right now so that the results then take care of themselves. Too often we get caught up in talking about winning as opposed to talking about the things that winning requires. I know everyone wants to win. That's great. Are you willing to do the work that winning requires? And that's what we need to focus on. Not focus on winning, but focusing on what needs to be done so that we can win ball games.
All right, let's look at BG. So last year they were 4-8. This year they've already got 5 wins. So I would say one of the most improved teams in the conference over the last couple of years. Just what are some things you think that has allowed them to take that step forward this season and start to kind of put it all together?
Yeah, I mean, they got an older team, right? They have a lot of returning production that's been in a lot of battles together. So they're a connected football team. They've been through a lot of adversity together. And now, over the course of Coach Leffler and his staff being there for 4 years, you've seen guys grow, you've seen guys develop, you've seen them mature. And because of that, they have a cohesive foundation that's playing really, really well. I mean, their defensive front is one of the most active, in the conference. I mean, I think they're in the top 5, if I'm not mistaken, of sacks per game. They cause a lot of havoc up front. And then, they have a quarterback that's very accurate and very efficient, and they lean on a really good rushing attack that's averaging over 115 yards per game. And they're very balanced because they're throwing it for around 220 yards per game. So they have an identity. They've matured over those 4 years. And then again, because of the work that they've done as a program, as a staff, those kids, the fruits of their labor are coming to bear this year.
You mentioned their quarterback, 16 touchdowns and only 3 interceptions. So he doesn't make a lot of mistakes. I guess defensively, is there anything you think that your unit can do to maybe force him into some uncharacteristic mistakes and try to give you guys an edge in the turnover battle?
Yeah, I mean, we got to make him comfortable. We got to make him uncomfortable in the pocket, right? They do a really good job utilizing their rushing attack to set up their play action pass game. And again, they do a really good job keeping him clean and keeping him upright so that he can operate with confidence and go through his read. So we got to do a really good job up front, making him uncomfortable and getting him off of his spot. And then we got to be opportunistic like we've been the past couple of weeks when the ball's in the air and we get an opportunity to get our hands on it to go get INTs and not just PBUs.
Offensively, obviously the run game has been big still with Marquez Cooper. I feel like every time I'm on the field, so I don't have the stats during the game when I'm on the field, but every time I look up, he's got 160 yards, and I'm like, all right, there you go, Coop. But just, is there anything this week against BG's defense that you think you guys will need to do well to give yourselves the best chance to win?
Yeah, I mean, both their edge players, number 6, the Brand kid, and number 11, the Brooks kid, they're really, really dynamic players. And the guys inside, 54, 56, I believe their numbers are. And then their 2 backers, number 17 and number 23. Like those 6 kids are very, very active. They're very gap sound. They do a really good job setting the edge. So within the rushing attack, anytime that you can, set an edge, you're able to be gap sound. They play really, really hard together. They play with a chip on their shoulder, especially the Carl Brooks kid. He's number 11, and he's a kid that's been playing a lot of football. I mean, he started over 36 games in his career there. So, he was thrown in the fire very, very young, and they played him young, and he's grown and he's matured, and like he's just a one-man wrecking crew, that we have to do a great job, working as a cohesive front to take care of their front, because they're very, very stout. They're very, very physical. They play very, very hard. So it's going to be a really big battle in the trenches, the way that it always is. But I mean, this is a very, very good front that's very, very active, that again has the past couple of games. I think against Central Michigan, they had 6 sacks. They were very disruptive against Western Michigan the other night. So they create a lot of havoc, and we got to do a great job winning at the line of scrimmage.
I think that's all from me, Coach. Thank you. Looking forward to making the trip on Wednesday.
No problem, Jack. Thank you.
Coach, just a couple of questions from my end on behalf of Mr. Polinsky. 4 of their 5 wins are 1-score games. So is it a veteran team that is allowing them to grind out those gotta have it type of situations and those couple of decisions that might flip those games the other way?
Yeah, I mean, they have belief, and you can tell that, right? Like through the adversity that they've been through and the amount of ball that they've played together and the way that they have manufactured wins and found ways to win. That's what good teams do, right? And there's no beauty points for how you get it done. And shoot, each one of these games, when you look up, every single night with the action play, they're all 1-possession games, right? I mean, like we haven't been in a game yet besides Toledo where it got away from us, where it hasn't been a 1-possession game. And you can go all the way back to 2019. The games are always that way. It's a great league with, a ton of talent, great coaches, but these guys find a way to win. And again, they have a belief and a desire and a relentless ability to make the plays when need be. I mean, it came down to a 4th down stop against Western Michigan to where, they hold up, they get a big stop, and you can tell that, they didn't flinch, they didn't waver when they were in that spot defensively. They found a way to get the ball to the ground, won the game. And I mean, again, that's what the work and the adversity that they've been through, it makes them resilient to continue to fight and have that belief in one another that they're going to get it done.
And then just really quickly about their offense, you look at them. There's not, other than the obviously McDonald, they spread the wealth pretty much in the passing game and in the rushing game. Does that make it a more difficult scout, or is it you're just trying to see ball, hit ball, and it's just the philosophy that you're trying to counteract?
No, yeah, I mean they have dynamic playmakers in a lot of different spots, right? And like you said, the distribution of who's getting the touches is very balanced. So that means that you have to be ball aware and man aware on every single snap. Like there's not a whole lot of tendencies, not a whole lot of tells where one guy's been targeted exclusively more than the other. They're all dangerous. They all have the capabilities to make plays, and they utilize their kids and their athletes in different ways, right? It's not just traditional stuff. Like they utilized one of their tight ends like on a jet sweep the other night, right? So they're finding creative ways to get the ball in their playmakers' hands. So we got to do a great job. Again, I know it's boring, but it works. We got to do a great job communicating. We got to do a great job having our eyes in the proper spots. We got to do a great job using proper technique so that we don't have mental lapses and we're able to get the ball to the ground and be disruptive and cause our own havoc, on Wednesday night.
Awesome, Coach. Thank you much.
Absolutely, guys. Appreciate you. Go Flashes.